Hi, Lee Phillips here. I want to talk to you for 2 seconds about the difference between the legal structure and the tax structure. People are continually getting this confused. It's a concept that's hard to grasp unless you really sit down and think about it, but it's actually pretty easy. You create a legal structure, and that legal structure, it might be a partnership, it might be a sole proprietorship, it might be a LLC, it might be a corporation, it might be a limited partnership. There are all of these legal structures. Sole proprietorship really isn't a legal structure. I was probably wrong there. But you have these operational things, the way you do business, the legal stuff. Then you have the tax stuff over here. How is this legal structure taxed? And the confusion comes in an LLC, for example, because in an LLC, you get to choose how it's taxed. Do you want it taxed as if it were a sole proprietorship? Do you want it taxed as if it were a partnership? Do you want it taxed under subchapter S of the IRS code? Like before, we could only have a corporation that was taxed under subchapter S. The corporation is the legal structure. The subchapter S is the tax structure. Nothing to do with each other. So if you've got a company that's taxed under subchapter S of the IRS code, the IRS, they don't know whether it's a corporation or an LLC. And the IRS doesn't care. They don't care. The question I get is, okay, if I have it taxed as a partnership, does that mean it doesn't have any asset protection? Because partnerships, they're bad for asset protection. Actually, they do have an asset protection facet to them. But each one of the partners is jointly and severably liable. So we don't want a partnership. Well, you can have an LLC, and if you're getting income from rents and royalties and stuff, what we call passive income, then you want the LLC to be taxed as if it were a partnership. It's going to file a 1065 form. But it still has all the asset protection, all the functions of an LLC. It just has a taxation structure of a partnership. So the asset chokes me all up. The asset protection part has nothing to do with the tax part. And people continually get that confused. I can't have a sole proprietorship. It doesn't have any asset protection. Well, actually you can. You can have an LLC taxed as if it were a sole proprietorship. That way you get all the asset protection of the LLC, but you get the taxation structure of a sole proprietorship. You just file a Schedule C or a Schedule E, and you use your Social Security number. The IRS doesn't even know that you've got this LLC. So it's kind of a hard concept for a lot of people to grasp. But how your entity, your trust, or whatever it is structured legally has nothing to do with how it's taxed over here. And so you got to separate those two, guys. You just got to think differently. I've got my irrevocable trust. It has the asset protection. It has all of the concepts of an irrevocable trust, and it's taxed under the irrevocable trust tax laws. It files a 1041. So, yes, it has a tax aspect to it, but it has this legal aspect too. And the two are independent, and people they want to tie them together. Yes, if I have a true partnership, I have to have it taxed as a partnership. But still, the asset protection or the legal operation of the company has nothing to do with the taxation. And yes, I understand I am kind of boring here. I'm overwhelming it. I'm repeating myself. But it bears repeating because it's a concept people just don't understand. They don't get it. Now, I've got materials out that teach you about the legal structure. Go get the free LLC mini course out there. I've got stuff that talks about the tax structure. Go get the 10 tax tips. So I've got stuff in both areas, and yeah, they kind of go together, but no, they really don't go together. So, get the legal structure, and then let's get the tax structure down. And how you want it taxed may be the influence of how you get a legal structure. The neat thing about an LLC is you can choose how you want it to be taxed, and it gives you the best legal structure, the best asset protection out there, period. So use the LLC and then choose how you want it to be taxed. Lee Phillips, don't forget to love us and like us and subscribe and all of that crap. I mean, good stuff. But Lee Phillips talking about the difference between a legal structure and a tax structure.